Chris Jenoff for Insight Media. I'm at the Leia booth at CES 2023. They have a 3D display they're calling a light field display. It's not really a light field display. It's a 1:8 super multi-view stereoscopic display, but it looks pretty good, so let's go take a look. So this, obviously this camera is not going to capture the 3D image here, but it's a face-tracked 3D display. So you can see the little the stereo cameras up here. These stereo cameras are on the front and the back, so you can capture stereoscopic images. You can have stereoscopic chat. The parallax, which they call gain, is mostly pre-adjusted for content that's sourced, for example, movies or even 2D content. They have an app that can go from 2D to 3D, their 3D format. So it can be played on this tablet. It's a 12.4-inch tablet. The base resolution is 2550 by 1600. It's LCD based, and the way it works is they have a second backlight in back of the normal backlight, so it's basically a steered backlight solution. And between those two backlights is a grating, which is the steering device. So that's how they steer these 1:8 views across the tablet. This is a second, maybe a third generation device. Previous ones were 4:4 views, so you could rotate the device. You cannot rotate this device. So at CES here, they're announcing a new partnership with ZTE. ZTE is a major ODM who now has agreed to actually license the technology and will be branding this themselves as this tablet. So in the US, Leia will retain branding rights and call it basically the new Luma Pad. Otherwise, in the rest of the world, ZTE will be branding this as a Nubia branded product. That's a sub-brand of ZTE. They also, I mentioned the 3D chat capability. They also have a Leia Flix capability where there's a different content that you can adjust the parallax. Stuff you get off the internet or wherever is not adjustable. They kind of adjust that parallax themselves. For example, a movie trailer that was mastered for theatrical will not have the correct parallax to play on a tablet. So they theoretically will correct that. Now, when I looked at some of the content they were playing on this, it was pretty aggressive parallax. The depth was, I would say, plus or minus maybe about 2 or maybe 3 inches max, which is pretty typical of a screen about this size. But I didn't see a lot of pixels. It does have a very narrow, I wouldn't say narrow, but a defined viewing cone. Since it's basically a multi-stereoscopic display. In terms of price, they don't have a specific price yet, but they said it's going to be compatible with mid-range iPads or high-end Samsung tablets. So it basically is a full-featured tablet, micro SD cards, fingerprint sensing, all the bells and whistles according to them. So it's kind of almost you get the 3D for free. So that's the story here. Chris Jenoff for Insight Media.